InShalla and Ashe. It's a Wisdom Wednesday. It's been a week since I was on. I returned from the Rising of the Origins. My free 5-day immersion went live and actually is still available at club.tonyad.tv/rise. So day one was all about the elementals, connecting with an element or an element, more than one. Day two, we brought in the Dagara cosmology, taking the elements further to collaborate with our purpose, innately designed just for each and every one of us. And day three, we integrated the elements with the subtle realms, opening up the elemental to the subtle and vice versa. And day three, we kind of mapped into the cosmic highway, showing up as the star that we are, the cosmos. And day four, we literally brought it all together. I might have got that off a little bit, actually. Day five, we brought it all together. Day four was the cosmic soup. So I got a little ahead of myself. However, it's not too late to join this container along with the other goodies, insights, and information to just really bring it all in and to add to the juice, right? The full moon added more to the bounty by recalibrating our authentic beliefs, bringing the soul's harmonic, that ninth energetic center, into the physical, adding the feels to it, plus getting hopefully out of the muggle field, that muggle field mindset of the physical realm, where we really are our greatest assets. They come in from the other world, the realm of spirit, kind of get invoked within each and every one of us. I mean, I could literally go on about the field of play, but here we are, right? So what possibly in your mindset is holding you back, keeping you in the man-made conditioned kind of struggle, the programming? In the realm of spirit, it's like, when was the last time that you spent time and space just with creator, just with source, being authentic? Yes, we all know the gas is on the rise. However, maybe flip the switch, go to the ancestors, go to an angelic being, go directly to source and find your sacred space. Where is our foundation? So it's like we're kind of at a crossroads to be authentic, to be genuine. It's like, are you seeing the world through new eyes yet? Or are you stuck in the conditioning of the physical realm of what your personal streams are? So those energetic hiccups, they happen for a reason. And are you listening? And our world is changing faster than that of our ancestors, right? The discourse in our world is also a wake-up call in the other. They're sending us signals, if you will, a beacon. But be sure to check out or join Rising of the Origins, discovering your life purpose and your soul story to awaken the spirit that resides within you. For those of you that have or are in that container, I am going to be holding a private Zoom, calling you in to map out your soul. And also, just know all the replays are in that container. However, the Q&As are in my private group on Facebook, Rising of the Origins. And also a quick announcement, the first Sunday of each month, I do hold a energetic cleansing meditation, a monthly meditation circle. So if your heart feels the pull and it resonates with you, join me at tonyad.tv to register for this upcoming July circle. Not sure what it's going to be musing in there. I usually get a download. However, welcome to today's Daily Snippet. Once again, I am your host. I am a practicing holistic shaman and medium, an otherworldly life coach, a subtle energetic surgeon, if you will, coined by my mentor, my friend, my ally, my ancestor ally now, Elder Melodoma Some, who is literally now part of the ancestor realm. Ashe, my friend, and blessings to you. But I do go by the term holistic Sha'medium. It's a blending of all of the juices, holism, shamanism, and mediumship. My intention is to utilize the power of these indigenous technologies, these ways of my elder, Melodoma Some, the elemental realms, the original blueprint, to navigate our soul's harmonic through the realms of the elements, the elemental highway. It's really so juicy. Into the imaginal realm, through the shamanic portal, the cosmos, these subtle energies, elements, and elemental beings. And I mean, it's really so much more, with offerings, rituals, and prescriptions to really add to your personal container, adding that juice, your personal medicine, your prime directive, your inner genius. But my intention truly is to authentically heartfelt source connect, to merge the wisdom of these indigenous ways with the subtle realms, the etheric highway, to assist you into navigating your inner genius, your personal medicine, the star that I truly believe we all are, each and every one of ourselves. One of ourselves. Maybe there's more of ourselves. Really just introducing you to the magical being that I really believe resides within each and every one of us, so that we shine brighter instead of dimming our light. My name is Tonya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. So with our mind online, the cross threads of unentangling our mind, our greatest asset and our ally. I like those. I merged them together just then. Or possibly our worst enemy, just saying, whatever that looks like. With that said, our mindset, mastering our mind, creating future threads of balance in our consciousness, opening up to Creator, subtle vision is then receives of our future that's yet to come. It's like, are you giving or going to receive the memo, or just opening up to it? Or are you going to stay on the hamster wheel, the physical realm? The choice is always our own. And in doing so, it really is our prime directive, the chalice of our heart, that will decide what it is that we, in our free will, what we will accept for a new future or decline the outcome of the future. So really listening to the universe and opening the door to those otherworldly communications, that's why and where the nature of the harmony actually is. Nature, right? So you may literally feel an intensity or an urgency to heal these aspects of our wounded self, our ego self, but really be calm, be in the rivers, go to the waters, find the peace and the beauty and the magic in the soul's feelings, right? The feels, the otherworldly timelines, past lives and whatnot. That's what we're healing right now, and filling into those healings in our behaviors, our environment. So you have done this before. Connect to the divine directly to ride those waves or be on the rise of those waves. So it's not a day to push through the threads. It's a day to give sacred space to the inner knowings of our heart space, our chalice. And if you have yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I've noticed there's some new subscribers. And again, I thank you for that. Ashe, blessings. But authentically do, Tonya D, all things Tonya D. And go ahead and hit the bell button so you too are notified. And also comment and sharing. That always gets you a message for your day streaming in to get you on your way, which I have some goodies later, so hang in there. But the algorithm, it really helps with the algorithm to echo me out to like-minded musers like yourself out in the galactic universe, the galaxy, who may also muse about insights of the other world, intuition, shamanism, spirit-induced technologies, the elemental world, the world of spirit, source, beings that are otherworldly, elemental, and just really so much more. But you can also find me on all these other social platforms like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and of course my podcast, Musing with Tonya D. And this coming up podcast is dedicated to the Archangel of the season of Cancer, so be sure to check that out. And also, if your soul wishes to dive down deeper into the realms of the other world, which is higher, head on over to my Musing Corridor. This really is my digital library in the sky. It's a corridor where you have some amazing options to assist you, to guide you. I really am your shamanic assistant. You truly are your own healer. I am just there to assist you. And because I forget about this one sometimes, Secrets of the Other World, that's also in the container for a limited time. Secret 2022 to get a juicy savings. That'll be going on until June 30th, I believe, at midnight. So be sure to check that out as well. So with all of that, you may have had some dreams slide into your dream space. Messages from the other world. Things become real when we focus on them. And what we choose to focus on is literally what comes. So our mind has been in this higher octave space, maybe feeling the wheels of the cabin spin on your dread pirate ship, say. Imagine you're on this pirate ship out in the ocean, right? So it really is a day to be open and opening up our mind and just opening it up in a nature kind of a way, listening, tuning in. But oftentimes, what do? We put on the blinders, we blindside, we don't even look at our the zones, right? On the outer fields, like when we're driving a car. The blind spots. I think I said that. And because we aren't willing to listen to the voices of the other world, literally, or even our own intuitive voice, the throat center is online, our inner voice, our verbal intuition, our hearing sister. So it's a day to take in all the insights, all the information. However, be in that observation station. So for me, it's like driving down the road in silence. I like the silence. Or being out in nature, the cosmic earthly cleanser that has all these unseen eyes upon us. And in doing so, whatever that is for you, we're all different, right? And authentically, that's juicy. It makes it fun. But whatever that is for you, the observation should be in our chalice, our heart center, that is actually streaming and resonating with that. So really take note and also take notice, like notice the note. And be in that mountaintop perspective. So it's like hitting the button to answer the phone or declining the call. So it's like, what have you been attempting to accept or decline since the full moon, which is quite curious, right? So there may be this high rise of brilliance. If you've ever had a cowrie shell divination, there's actually a stone that means our brilliance, our light. It's an idea that is streaming in. However, if it feels sickly in the body, like our body feels icky, especially the heart center, it may be feeling as if an injustice is happening somewhere out there in the world, out into the field, or we literally may be thrown off our rocker, sideswiped, right? It may be just unpretty, lacking peace, joy, or happiness. With all of these energies of the day with the crossroads, I felt earlier as if I'm going to go with the other world, the Fae, but the elemental beings in their elemental realm. So with that, I have a juicy photo, of course, because I'm streaming things a little differently, getting our mind online, our intuition channel. So what do you see? You get to play a little bit here. Do you see a plant or a bubbly flower pot of plants? A stone, a crystal there. It's a carnelian, red carnelian actually, or a piece of nature, a stick. So muse on that and we will go to the elemental highway. Go ahead and comment in the show notes what you're getting a vision of. Red carnelian, a bushel of beautiful, bountiful flowers there, or a stick with some bark. Choices. We all have choices and we all have options. However, just muse on that for a second. On the highway, we have a Yin Earth Pig of a day, which always sounds funny, right? So Yin Earth is the soil. Our earth is solid in the season of fire, the month of the horse. So we get a lot of fire there. It's at its peak, right? It's right in the middle. It's getting saucy. And our day being solid, but it is dry. The water is alive and well, but we do need metal. So if metal was available, this would be a day of nobility, enjoying the fame and the success. But without yin water, it would just, it'd be impossible to adjust and bring balance to our day. And without metal and water, our day would actually become parched, dry, and burned. We do need metal, wet earth and metal. And if you were in the corridor of the Rising of the Origins, you would literally have an aha moment right now on the elementals. So this is part of creating ritual and offering within the elemental realm. That's why I play with these little babies. But in the neighborhood, the month, we do not have a super god today. However, we do have one in the year, the ancestral realm, the global energy and the world in the yang water tiger with the yin earth pig. It all plays out, right? But this is the world. This is our world and the outer world, the other world. So we have what we have coming in. It's called the communicator, which is at a high efficiency, and it's also in alignment for our day. So really, the frequency of the day, the cosmos. So truly listen to the intuitive voice, the hearing messages streaming in. This is our hearing sister in the clairaudient area. It's creative skills, it's writing, artistic talents, it's cells, all kinds of like talented artistic activities, entertaining, inspiring others. However, on the other side, there's always another side of the coin, right? It may open up the ability of impressing others or creating an illusion, bad behavior even, balancing these threads. And remember, I don't know if you've watched me for very long, but Yin Earth is actually nurturing soil. It's grasses, it's fertile soil. And the fertile soil actually nurtures all living creatures that sprout from her, the earth, the soil, right? Meaning that people under this element are very resourceful, they're creative, they're natural born nurturers, coaches, and highly adaptable to their environment, which allows them to make the most of what they do have, no matter what life decides to dish out to them. It's kind of the frequency of today. I don't know how your day started out, but mine's been on the sidewaters. That's why I'm musing a little later in the day. However, stay optimistic, be juicy. However, our day also loves to see things grow. And that's what gives this day the highest pleasure. So hopefully, if your day started off a little tipsy, topsy-turvy, you're going to still get to the other side and see the pleasure streaming in, right? The joys, the nurturing. But being that this is a day of natural born teachers and coaches, like soil that supports the growth of the grass, the trees, the plants, the flowers, etc., etc. Yin Earth people and our day are really the ones that provide resources for other people to grow. So today might be that resourceful day where we can grow our sacred garden. However, what else is curious, Yin Earth people are often sick, usually having a lot of allergies. And this is quite normal for them. And again, I'm not a medical doctor. I just am musing about the elements, but I do find this quite fascinating. I won't go down that rabbit hole, but there are some other insights about Earth frequencies during the experience of 2020. I'll just say that. But with soil has a lot of different life forms within it because it's useful as nutrition. Hang on one second. Oh, good Lord. Can you just not do that to me? Thank you. Whew. So back to Earth. Back to Earth. So Earth, the reason herbs are so great, they're useful as nutrition for herbs, just the plants, the organic nutrition, because it's the best way to treat their bodies. It's organic and it's live substances, if you will. Kind of interesting. Sorry about my own energetic hiccup. I've told you I'm having a crazy day. But the elemental highway, and with our messages for the day, we do have some interesting things coursing in. Again, I went with the Fae, but I'm going to show you the image once again. Hang on, I got to find it. And it's right there. Okay, so what did you choose? Share in the comments what you're tuning into. Dun, 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 dun. So we have red carnelian, we have a stick, and we have this beautiful, bountiful pot of flowers that are almost flowing over. Kind of fun, right? So with that, if you picked the carnelian, ding, 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 there we go. I hope you can see that. This is the Lady of the Harvest, and I apologize again, my camera wasn't loving me this morning either, but I was giving it some love right back. Or, if you just want to do a collective read, that works as well. But this is number 18. I don't know if you can see that in the corner. However, ironically, all these cards were reversed. I did not put them in there otherworldly. But 18 is ruled, the 8 is Saturn. So Saturn is what we are committed to. It's what we're responsible for in our own world, our day-to-day, and out in the outer world. But it's also what we fear. And of course, one is the sun, one is our heart. So when we open up our heart and decide through our heart channel, that is the place we should take the action. That's the place of being responsive, or a response comes from in the end. But the Lady of the Harvest, so this is all about completion, grief, loss, harvest, the fall, and of course, releasing, right? Things that go on in the fall. But before I go too far into the Lady of the Harvest herself, she's part of the She, the people of the hills, the lords, the ladies, the realm of the Fae. I just love them. But these are the old ones, even when they are young. They are wise. They are the dancers of the realm, and they do the dance to mediate or bring down the energies of the singers, the powerful energy of the singers, to bring in that frequency into manifestation throughout the world. And they do this just for the pure essence of joy, the pure joy, the joy molecules, right? So these are these, they have this otherworldly alchemical art, and that's the dance of life itself. It's the dance, the art of the dance, I guess. So these are the ones that create and nurture and build the worlds and the world's inhabitants. I kind of feel like this card really goes with our Yin Earth Day. Um, so yeah, it's kind of that same energy, that same frequency, but they're also available to each and every one of us as guardians, gatekeepers, teachers, comforters, etc., stuff like that. And they seem to enjoy, they do this just to create frequent miracles. I believe in miracles, right? And the miraculous, having faith. So after we've experienced the nurturing fulfillment of the bright mother, this is where the lady of the harvest comes in. She's also known as the old crone or the old woman. And she helps us to let go of what is finished. And in doing so, it really liberates ourselves to move into the next phase of our activities and relationships, as in the natural world. It's like how the old becomes compost and then new growth in our lives, right? The elementals, back to the elements, it's the harvest. But the lady helps us to adapt to the change and also releasing what's no longer serving us. So often, she's associated with loss, regret, grief, and often we are right to do so. So the basic phase of grief are shock or denial, anger, grief, emotional storms or acceptance, regaining our perspective. It's the beginning of healing and the deepening of our capacity for love of self. Usually is where I go to first. But the lady of the harvest, she really understands grief. She's patient, she's kind, compassionate. And as we go through this sometimes painful processes, right, of letting go, I know myself, when I process grief, I become very anorexic, emancipated. I look just way too thin, right? So we may all need to be patient and kind with ourselves. And really just note here that the grieving process is the same for little losses as big as large wins sometimes, just on a different time scale. And the intensity of these emotions varies for all of us, but they vary enormously, right? So we might go through our grieving stages of a small loss in a few minutes, flicking it away, or it may take years for a greater loss. And that really can be a challenge. However, on the other side of this letting go, there are many things that make us lighter, happier when we release them, if we could just release them, right? Old traumas, tasks, stages in our life that we are glad to have finished, unhappy relationships, feelings, things that cause us pain and inhibit our growth. So sometimes we simply, hopefully comfortably, finish with one aspect of our lives to move into the next one, hopefully a happily anticipated one, right? So these releases, they're cause for celebration, like celebrate the release, right? And the old woman has come to joyfully celebrate with us. So hopefully you can see, like I said, the pictures weren't so great today. I should have put the light on a little brighter. However, it's all about patience, acceptance of loss, and joyful celebration of liberation. So when we liberate something within ourselves or in the world, we actually grow to be more like the lady of the harvest, developing our capacities within us and our skills. But being that she was otherworldly, which is hilarious that I didn't notice that when I threw those in there. However, it's a message that we possibly know when we are blocking the liberation of the energy of the lady, this here message. So we may refuse to accept a loss or cling to our growing pains, traumas, even our limiting ideas. And we may even, in our everyday reality, deny them. And shock and denial are really kind of the first stage of grief, right? We're in shock. We might be in denial. We might be just frozen. But we need to move on past that and eventually gain the healthy momentum, the balance in the present moment, in the reality. And if we stay in denial, grief can't heal in denial. And denial can be the denial. The denial can be the denial, the river of denial of reality, or the denial of our feelings. Lots of denials there. Denial's a thing. But either one, it prevents us from moving into healing. And the universe, organically, galactically, moves on. So we really have no choice, right? But to move on with it, to be in those streams. If this energy was feeling twisted, the energy release can move in a variety of directions beyond the crossroads. And when possibly, it's the possibility that we can't let go of the program. It's an automatic process, kind of like a computer download or upload the programming, where we compulsively just resist and push things away that we actually want and do need. So that's kind of curious. So you kind of have to feel into what the message is for you. But another twist is to turn away from the things in our lives that do give us satisfaction, fulfillment, and joy. Because we cannot have the one thing that our heart wants or we feel like we want. So it seems reasonable to have nothing at all. So we kind of start sulking and get carried away by the extreme. And to further go down the rabbit hole, if you're in destructive mode of release, that could be like a bumper sticker saying, if you love something, let it go. And if it doesn't come back, hunt it down and kill it, which I actually had somebody say that to me, which was a different thing. It was an end of a relationship, which was fine. I was like, that's okay. I'd rather be dead than be in this space. That was years ago, by the way. But this is the if I can't have it, no one will attitude from the outside. So all these attitudes are obviously kind of selfish and rather dumb. But to somebody caught in the less rational stages of the grieving process, that may seem like the only solution in that moment, a solution that's not a solution to anything at all, right? Kind of interesting. And we do have Chiron on Mars opening and cutting away old wounds. So I kind of feel that as well. It's kind of a multi-dimensional message is kind of what I'm saying. And who picked the stick? Any stick pickers out there? Let me make sure I don't screw this up. Voila! This is called card 31. Being aligned with our beliefs, opening the channel of our heart, and then we know where we heartfelt feeling belong. Like, do I belong here? Do I belong there? Where do I believe I belong? So this is called undressing of a salad. That's the image, undressing a salad. Part of the fairy guides and the guardians. These are the little beings that devote their time and their energy directly to guiding us as we develop our gifts and our talents and our own natural innate magic. So this is the juice, right? So they come here to help us become who we already are, exploring the infinite potentials, possibilities, transcending those self-imposed limitations, fears. They help us to climb out of our holes that we usually climb in ourselves. So that's kind of interesting. This one was also otherworldly, so that's hilarious. But it's about misunderstandings, misusing of our talents and our potentials. And often, right, a sense of humor actually. And that truly is a necessary part of just being magical and fulfilled and happy, is finding the humor on the other side, right? And these guardians, they actually encourage us within ourselves, the laughter and the humor. So the fairy guides and these guardians, they're here to help us to discover really the authentic joys of living more harmoniously with nature, with ourselves, with them and each other, and so much more. Just helping their world, our world, and just moving towards harmony, balance by literally undressing the salad, which is hilarious. So this is all about balance, avoiding extremes, achieving the impossible, or being impossible even, right? So this is the dressing of a salad, but in an earlier stage, it was the undressing of the salad. So the names kind of combine together because what it's showing us are these aspects of the image. If you can see it, it's kind of dim lit. I wish I did a better one. But the dressing of a salad, that's all about good balance. It's contrasting the elements and blending them all together to create this tasty whole, this meal, I guess. The undressing of a salad, right? That would, I mean, think about it. Undressing of a salad. How would you do that? There's some skill there, right? So you might think it's impossible, but our little character, you can see just balancing those magical balls. That's the fairy of doing impossible things, but he's also the fairy of being impossible and the fairy of avoiding extremes. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. Everything's sounding, feeling, sensing impossible. Well, of course, that's because it may be. But there's also two other characters in the image. I don't know if you can see them, but this is like the one little guy. He's intensely focused on balancing all of the things. There's a large gnome in the center, finding this very amusing. I don't know who I'm laughing at. Can't decide, quite frankly. But it's looking in all the directions at once, just seeing all the impossibilities of keeping things that are in constant motion and balance it all the time. So this is like the juggling act of life. And of course, we're going to fall out of balance. Of course, the rug might get pulled out from under us. And of course, one of these little critters are going to drop the ball, one of these little fays. And sometimes we do drop the ball and somebody else snatches it from us. But they, in their dimension, their realm, they just invent, create another one. And even that sometimes seems impossible, as undressing a salad, which is a funny thing. Just think about that for a second, or muse upon it. But there are times, when we have to turn bad luck into good, positive luck into, or I was thinking of optimism, staying optimistic even when things don't look great. Especially sometimes, somebody seems determined to turn our optimism into negativity, and everything's integrating, disintegrating at the same time. That's the frequencies in the balance. Confusion sometimes is never at a standstill, and we still try to create order and put things into balance. That's been my morning. I'm not kidding. And the universe is like just whoo, it's cascading through time and space at this rate that we could never possibly imagine. Very difficult, right? To keep balance and just rapidly moving forward with different objects through space and time. And even sometimes it appears unpredictable, and we can't hold the force field, I guess. But sooner or later, one of these characters, they're going to drop their balls. And even the sulky fellow there, he's waiting to snatch a ball or two. It's just a game, right? Life sometimes is a game. But snatching the ball, sometimes the characters, But being that this was also otherworldly, this is like imbalance is occurring and confusion is happening, and maybe all these balls are falling on the floor, and then we discover that they're all just uncooked eggs. It's all perception, right? Or a sleight of hand might be happening, and that things appear possibly as they are not, and vice versa. It's even misdirection, attempts to overcome, maybe contributing to a problem, or somebody may be attempting to be unethical, unkind, manipulative. However, it's always worth remembering that out of chaos, and I love that, this is the energy of Uranus, actually. Out of chaos, we can sometimes create those miracles, the miraculous, and, unity. The universe is created in this entire way. The universe, the ancestors, source, cleaning up the cosmic wounds. But we do have to participate to the response, answering that otherworldly call. Sometimes that's not fun, right? The magic on the other side. Sometimes it disrupts the feels. So who picked the plant? Anybody pick the plant? Voila! This is so fun. This is Oh the Gnome, or Oh That Gnome, sorry. Oh That Gnome. Also part of the she, so we've had two otherworldly assistants or guardians today, which is fun. Sometimes they're called the gods and the goddesses, but that's not how they see themselves. They truly are the elder race, the forerunners, the ancient ones. I kind of see them as the watchers, if you will. But they all have their own potent power, and they act through different things in life. They're very wise, profoundly wise, and their actions are always for the highest good of the all, which I love, right? But this gnome, he's a trickster, creative chaos, wild gifts, breaking habits, patterns. This is the trickster who exists in every world, right? So he's coming to us wearing two faces, his own faces, to fool us into thinking that his ideas are our own. And he brings in those creative chaos into our lives, helping us break down the old habits, really by showing us how silly they are, maybe. And he's encouraging us to literally fall on our face so we can turn around and see a different point of view, the mountaintop, looking up past our mind, smeared thought processors, I guess. But he's helping us to get ourselves into situations, yes, in which we discover gifts that we possibly never knew we had, right? So often, because there's no other way out of the mess we often get ourselves into, so we have to look at things otherworldly. But this gnome is unreliable, sometimes encourages drunkenness, which is hilarious. That's absolutely true. He certainly doesn't always do what we expect, but our expectations are kind of our problem, not his. As for the drunkenness part, it's an in vino veritas. In wine, there is truth, right? The more we drink, the more truthful we are. Sometimes. So when we let down our mental sensors, those filters, we sometimes come up with discoveries about who we authentically are, truly are, what we really want that we hadn't even allowed ourselves to know that we wanted. So him appearing today, this is a message of literally Uranus. So again, we've got two frequencies there. The breakthrough time. And the first step to the breakthrough always feels like the break on down to the other side, right? You got to go break through to break down and vice versa. So there are a lot of better ways to do this than obviously getting drunk, because that's going to cause some hiccups, or going through a psychotic breakdown. But the better ways often take the skill, and we have to work at it with him and with us, just as we authentically are, right? So the gnome tells wild and wonderful, long-winded stories. Completely, it demonstrates actions and going crazy, arms flaring in the air. Some people see the gnome as being full of knowledge and wisdom, earthy energy. Again, the Earth Day that we're having in Earth. But the trick, right, is sorting out the truth from the fiction. And I think there's a lot of that going on out into the world. And it really takes a lot of good sense to be able to even listen to him, because he isn't known for his patience. He's the gnome that's going to break down the vase and see all the pieces splattered on the floor, but there's a lot of meaning in the distribution of the pieces. And it's up to us to kind of read into the messages and understand the meaning. He is the potentially constructive voice of chaos, if you will. He's the keeper of our wild talents, the ones that we may not even know that we have. But he's appeared today, so it's calling our attention to our latent gifts and talents, the things that we don't see. So, in a nutshell, which is where he claims to belong, that's his job, is to really help us get lost from our comfortable ruts, right? So that we're kind of exploring these wonderful, exciting, strange new paths that we possibly would not have explored before. His great friend is the raven, the philosopher trickster, and also coyote trickster, right? Coming in many disguises, kind of dimensional realm stuff going on there. But he's smart. He sometimes outsmarts himself or outwits himself. So literally, can you laugh at yourself sometimes? I've been laughing at myself all morning because that's just kind of how the day is flowing. And allowing laughter to just carry us into new insights, into new ways of beingness, right? And then the gnome, within us, we all have our own little energies, right? Is waving its own fairy wand and being gleefully. However, being that this card too was otherworldly, and no, I did not put it in there otherworldly. So this is the trickster being reversed, and sometimes perverse, or sometimes the reverse is even more reversed into other dimensions. So it's like it is otherworldly, standing on its head. So this gnome could actually just be saying, be careful. There may be some trickery going on. Or he who hesitates is lost, and to play it safe, or fools rush in where angels fear to tread, which honestly I don't think angels fear to tread anywhere. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because sometimes fools accomplish things that even angels may think are impossible. Or completely honestly, maybe honesty may be the best policy, or maybe not. So two sides of that same coin, kind of interesting thought processors, right? So, you might be thinking, what's the real answer? Well, it's probably one that's otherworldly, out of the box. It's going to be something that slides into us today unknowingly, and then knowingly, just shaking up our preconceptions, right? And helping to see ourselves, our situation, possibly as it authentically is. However, just aiding us in finding a new response to all of that is otherworldly. And this card is 26. So this is opening us up to a new feeling, opening our feelings and committing to a new heartfelt sensation. And we're not done yet, because the Fae never let me get away with just 3 cards, right? Or a 1 card pull today. So I have another one, which is totally how my day's been going. The Fae, once I bring them in, it's a juicy thing, I'm telling you. But we have a singer, the singer of intuition. You really cannot make this up. This is a 7, which is our spirit energy. So this is trusting our intuition, which is actually online today. And the singers of intuition, they're the singers of the realm. And honestly, who does not love the singers of the realm? Let's be honest. And if you are new to my show and don't know who the singers are, these are the great ones. They're greater than the she. They span all the multiverse, all dimensions, all directions. They have a variety of otherworldly names that we usually call them, which some are angels, some are gods, divas, and so many more. But they create this underlying song of the universe, these great ones, mystical and magical, and they show us into all of the realms who we divinely, ultimately, potentially may become. And they assist us to move and push us in that direction and even comfort us when we do fall off our path. So their energy is constantly with us. It's compassion. It's always available. And ironically, this was the only card that was not otherworldly. And being that it's a singer, which I totally find curious, the singer of intuition. This is our perceptiveness, our intuitive gifts, our powers, our oracular powers, oracle, our awareness. It is our trust, having faith and trust and compassion. But the song of the singer, this one, this intuition, it carries all of the information that there is. This is our library in the sky, often called the Akashics, the Book of Life, the Book of Knowledge, the Shadow Records, all the stuff, right? But this is the amazing filing cabinet in the sky that we sometimes felt like we have to go to in order to get that information intuitively or psychically. However, we don't need to go anywhere, right? The song is sung within our bones, our flesh, our entire body. Our bodies never lie, just as it is within the rest of the universe. And also at the present stage of our evolution, if we were to consciously hear this song in all of its fruitfulness and all of its fullness, which I think it's starting to come in, quite frankly, we would actually be a little overwhelmed and our minds would burn out, be frazzled by all of that energy. But the universe, being kind as she is, has led us to a place where we can develop and consciously hear just little bits and melodies of the song. But we do need to develop that skill. And of course, you know what that skill is, intuition, right? Actively listening. Sometimes we can hear a few of those notes and they do resonate so closely with our own beingness, and we become aware of them, the sounds of them. Involuntary experiences, often we call them hunches, our extended sense perceptions, our gifts, our inner genius. If you're curious, take my Change Your Stars quiz if you want to kind of play with that. And for sure, join Rising of the Origins, the singers. All the replays are in there. It's just super juicy, just saying. But we each can improve this, the reception of the song by learning to be still and to listen in a special way, just amplifying our gifts, amplifying the song. So what we get for practicing stillness through meditation, listening, right? It's in the listening. So this is where we ask and then we listen, and hopefully things stream in. It's the ability to understand, and then we have to interpret, right? That's the fun part. The meta symbols, the soul's harmonic, the symbolism beyond the material physical world. Truly, it's just a matter of being still and just asking and just listening. And hopefully one day as we evolve, we will grow and we're going to be able to hear more and more of the song and really base our actions and our choices on a greater wisdom and ancient knowledge, patience, practice. You know, those are the keys to access all of these subtle frequencies, the clairsenses, if you will. But being that the singer was the only one that was not otherworldly, the presence of the singer of intuition indicates that all this information today is available to us if we all will just listen to our own inner knowing along with the messages of the other cards. So it really is super juicy that we finish with this. And, you know, possibly we've already heard it. Maybe we still doubt it, our subtle senses, right? The clarity of them. But this is really a time to really listen to our intuition, and it's a day for sure. What are our feelings? What are our hunches? What are our insights about all the situations, you know? Seek solitude, meditate, practice stillness, along with being patient, taking that breath, taking that pause. This is a time for that inward focus, taking the inward journey, which I have an entire course called Soliciting Solitude. I mean, I cannot make this up. this is telling me to go quiet my own voice, right? It's a time to open the inner door to intuition, all the ends in there, right? The ends, the inward, that's where all the answers are within ourselves, inward, the ends. So the message here is allowing us to radiate this special illumination, these insights with all of the other message today, which I kind of find interesting, really. How about you? Just saying. So, respond with heartfelt belonging, commitment, spirit. So we may feel some resistance on our inner world today. Sometimes our response system is going to fight the idea. Our responder, our own internal responder pushes back or wants to run away because then we're not receiving from the rest of our heart. So what is happening? We may need some adjustments. So rewrite the text, reevaluate the energy. Maybe we need to reposition the map, the puzzle pieces on the map to suit our entire essence. So whatever changes, just kind of recognize that we do have time, we do have space. Just take notice, take note to the alls, the ideas, the intelligences, the genie streaming through the heart. So really bring the streams to the chalice, the heart's chalice. Engage our intuition, the singer of intuition. See the trickster, the gnome, and open up to an out-of-the-box perspective and choosing to liberate ourselves. So with our solar plexus online, our throat center also, and our soul's harmonic, mind you, our verbal hearing sister. Woo. So I would affirm, I am open to the hidden messages of the universe, heartfelt reception center. And also, I didn't mention the moon, but the moon is in Capricorn. Capricorn is also Saturn related. Saturn's in Aquarius. So Aquarius is otherworldly vibrations coming in, streaming in. So just being mindful and feeling into those otherworldly vibrations, really feeling the feels, the Capricorn moon. So with that, it was a little long, but not too bad, a little late. So that's how my day is going. So make it a great day is all I can say. Ashe, blessings to you. And as always, I'll see you on the other side. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you and I am grateful.